around for Reed, and he's hit for the loss. Andre Reed has not been able to get into it today. He had been complaining that he was out of the offense, certainly back into it last week against Houston. 8 catches, 3 touchdowns, but they have not been able to go his way this afternoon.
Well, both teams have tried a couple of gimmick plays, and really all of them have backfired today. And you know, the fans like to see those wide open reverses and reverse passes. Well, you've seen about 6 of them today, and all of them have resulted in bad plays.
You say that with glee as one who has not been a great fan of the deceptive style of football. Here's Thomas on the inside handoff to the 25-yard line.
Well, Marv Levy trying to get the ball back in field goal range. Good play selection there with the draw, and he's just trying to put the ball in front of the goalpost and trying to go up 17-3.
And Steve Christie will attempt from 42 yards out. Last week, his 32-yard field goal in overtime, only the 2nd game winner of his NFL career. Frank Wright puts it down. And Christie is right on target. Officially, they are calling it a 43-yard field goal. The Bills now lead 17-3.
Bruce Smith returned to the game on Pittsburgh's next possession, but it was his teammate Jeff Wright sacking Neil O'Donnell twice that forced the Steelers to punt. We rejoin the start of the Bills' following drive.
First down at the 14-yard line. Kenneth Davis getting outside. Kenneth Davis fumbled it out of bounds, so will maintain possession. The ball will be spotted at the 45 in Pittsburgh territory as Davis ran for 41 yards.
Well, Buffalo in a new offensive set, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, 1 wide receiver. First time they've been in it all day. Off tackle to the weak side, and Davis breaks it. And as I said, Marv, early in the telecast, this guy could play on my team anytime because he's a fullback with tailback ability, and it just seems every time Buffalo really needs something to happen, this number 23 comes up and does his part.
Is there a specific team we're talking about, like in the near future there?
No, there's no specific team we're talking about, but this guy could play on it if there was.
Carwell Gardner's submarine by D.J. Johnson. So Kenneth Davis has now run for 81 yards on 8 carries. Last 4 possessions for Buffalo, all resulting in, check that, 3 out of the 4 resulting in scores. Just under 6 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Buffalo has this one well in hand, a 17-3 lead, 2nd down and 2 at the 37-yard line. Here's Davis to the other side with a big hole. Kenneth Davis accelerating for 17 more.
Well, you get the sense now with the way Buffalo's able to run the ball, and they hadn't been able to do that early in the game, that it's not just good Buffalo blocking, but rather a little of the air, the Pittsburgh players realizing that the air is headed out of the balloon and that their season is rapidly coming to a close. And you just get a little sense that the defense on the Pittsburgh side a little demoralized right now.
It's a first down at the 19-yard line. Gardner for a short advance. Well, we discussed at the start of the game, popping the question, how would the Buffalo Bills react to that miraculous comeback of a week ago, the greatest comeback in NFL history? How would Marv Levy handle it? Was he concerned that the players would have a letdown? And as it turns out, no, they have not.
No, they haven't. I kind of get the sense that Buffalo is kind of rallying that underdog role here. You know, they kind of gave the division away late in the season, and you know, they had to go on the road and win a game and come down here to Pittsburgh, and that great comeback it just seems like they're kind of in a different mode. You know, they've been the favorite so long. They've been to the Super Bowl, and they just seem to have a different attitude. It's like they're on a little different mission right now than they have been.
Down to 3:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's a 3rd down and 1. Gardner picks up the 1st down. Carwell Gardner, 3-year man from Louisville, collecting the 1st down.
Well, that'll take it down toward the 2-minute warning, and there you see Bill Cowher. Of course, you know, I've been down there on this short end of a couple of these playoff games, and you know, everybody after the game is going to be telling them it was a good season and you did a great job, but there's really not any solace or consolation in his mind, because when you're down there and this is happening to you, what you're thinking is it's another off season and another draft and another training camp and another preseason.
And Kenneth Davis goes in for the touchdown. So the Bills appear to have put this one out of sight with 2.5 remaining. Well, they have marked it just outside the goal line. Well, it appeared that a touchdown was indicated, but it was not. And instead, here's Gardner battling to score. And now they can put it back up on the scoreboard. So the Bills go to a 23-3 lead on the Steelers. Carwell Gardner, 2nd-round draft pick 3 years ago out of Louisville, battling his way to the end zone.
And as I said, I get the sense that the Buffalo Bills are kind of in that underdog role now, and you know, it looks like the way it's been going that second half last week and in this game today, you know, they're going to be tough for whoever they play next week.
The Bills with a 24-3 lead on the Steelers.
On Pittsburgh's next drive, O'Donnell was sacked a 5th and 6th time by the Bills. Buffalo then ran out the clock for a 24-3 victory. So the Buffalo Bills are once again in the AFC Championship game. And despite key injuries to Kelly, Smith and Thomas, their 3 marquee players, they still convincingly beat the AFC Central Division champions. How good are the Bills? Well, I think they're as good as in past years, but there's a difference this season. They're the underdogs. And as Frank Reich said to me last week, we couldn't do it as favourites, so maybe we can make some history and do it as the underdogs. I have to admit, I think we'll see them in Pasadena come the end of the month. Can they beat any of the 4 teams that are left in the NFC? Well, stranger things have happened. Well, now let's go back to Gary at Candlestick Park.
On the first play of the fourth quarter, Mark Rippon's 1-yard lunge brought the Redskins back to within 4 points of the 49ers. But on their next drive, Rippon and Brian Mitchell fumbled the handoff, and linebacker Mike Walter recovered to equal the turnover score at 4 apiece. With 6 minutes left on the clock, Steve Young started a drive from the San Francisco 24 and kept it alive with a 1-yard sneak on 4th down. The drive set up a 27-yard field goal attempt, and Mike Cofer made it to put the 49ers back in front by a touchdown. That turned out to be the clinching score in the final couple of minutes. Mark Rippon and the Washington Redskins couldn't get anything going on offense, so the 49ers win it by a final score of 20-13. To be honest, it was often a sloppy performance by the Niners on a sloppy surface, and they look far from invincible today. But the important thing for them and the delirious fans here at Candlestick Park is that they'll be back here next week for the NFC Championship game. And so, in all probability, will we. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Gary. Great job. Well, you can see both championship games right here on Channel 4 next Sunday in a special 4-hour broadcast starting at 8 p.m. But before that, we'll be back tomorrow night at our usual time of 8:30 with perhaps the most